Okie dokie. Last week I shared about making bunting flags from old doilies, which I made for our wedding 10 years ago. While I was kind of making that video, I decided to research just a little bit on the internet about upcycled projects or doilies. Doilies have never been something that have been on my radar at all, but when I started researching these ideas, I fell in love. These ideas were swoon-worthy, beautiful. If you can imagine the little emoji that has the little hearts on the eyes, that was me. I've collected some of those ideas on my Pinterest board, which I will link to below. I thought I'd quickly share some of the ones I tried out this week because I think they're awesome. One of the things I like about these kind of projects is that even if you're just reusing like a tiny bit of something, whether it's doilies or damaged book pages or whatever it is, I think it's just this great visual reminder for myself and for whoever's around that we can reuse things, we can give them new life and make them into these beautiful, unique items for our homes without having to go out and buy something and spend a lot of money or contribute to that whole waste cycle. I also know that in doing some of these reuse projects with one item, I end up reusing other items along with it, and they sort of work together to give multiple things new life. I really like doing these crafty projects because they're fun and they create something unique for our home, and it's just a great chance to upcycle, to reimagine, if you will. So last week I shared that yes, I have gotten authentic, really beautiful vintage doilies from some yard sales, thrift shops, all of that in the past. If you're looking for doing a project, definitely just have it on your radar for when you're going out to a thrift store or yard sale, free cycle, and then maybe even emphasizing to somebody that it's okay if part of it's damaged, because if you're just going to use parts of it, then that's okay if there's like a little stain on part of it or whatever. I also shared that I ended up finding this like huge crochet type tablecloth at a yard sale a couple weekends ago, and so I used this for most of the projects that I'm going to show because I had so much of this fabric. So it was really great to just find ways to give it new life. Okay, so without further ado, here's what I ended up doing. I don't really have like tutorials on these, but I'll try to quickly explain how I did them. So here are 10 projects that I decided to try with the doily fabric. If you can see behind me, I have been wanting to cover that water jug for the longest time. I knew that I could just like use a piece of fabric, but I just never quite found what I wanted to use for it until the doily fabric. All I did was I cut a circle of this fabric, and then I cut like a rectangle that would go around, and then I just sewed those together and sewed the edge of the rectangle. It was super duper easy. First I tried hand sewing it because I thought that would be better, and it actually did not go so great, mostly because I'm not very thorough in my hand sewing, so it might have worked for other people. I ended up just machine sewing it, and it was great, and I love it so much. It makes me smile every time I look at it. So that is the first one. That's one I obviously didn't see an idea for. I just kind of thought that would be a great way to use this fabric. Obviously, another thing that I've done with this type of fabric or doilies is the flag bunting that I showed last week, which you can watch the video of, but I'll just put a little picture of here so you can see. Simple project that can be done on different scales, and I think is really a beautiful indoor decoration, or if you're having sort of an outdoor party, picnic, I think it's great. Then I just ended up using like a decoupage medium, like a Mod Podge, and I have these old yogurt jars or something. I just cut out bits of the fabric and I just basically glued them to this jar. I think it's a great little jar just as is, but to put maybe some dried flowers in here or to put a candle or a flameless candle in here, it's really cute. And it was crazy easy, and I got to reuse a jar as well. This little bowl I made, basically I just took one of our glass dishes, covered it in plastic wrap, and then decoupaged these doilies on and let them dry. And when you take it off, here, hold on, once it's all dry, it just keeps the shape of the bowl. I had just purposefully cut out bits of the fabric that I thought would work well together. So they're like separate little circles and random green on it. But anyway, I thought this was really cool. I've seen this idea before. It's so simple and it totally worked. And I guess you could put just like a flameless candle in there. What I ended up doing was I like to make these little paper fortune cookie. I thought this was just a great little storage bowl for those, to keep it by the door for people who just need a little pick-me-up for the day. Then I took an old frame and just covered it. Again, I kind of hand selected or hand cut pieces of the fabric that I especially liked. And then I just kind of layered them and decoupaged them onto the frame. Super simple. I love it. I have another video about decoupaging onto light switch plates just to give them new life and to just do a little bit of upcycling. So I ended up doing that with the doilies to one of our light switch plates, and I super love it. I'm really, really pleased with it. I put a little scrap piece of green paper underneath before I put the doilies on, so it had a little colorful background. Super easy, highly recommend it. I love this one because I think sometimes plastic pots for plants are not as lovely as some plant pots can be. Sometimes if you have a lot of plants or if your plant is doing really well in a certain pot, sometimes it's hard to want to repot them or to find enough nice pots for everything you've got. So I liked this idea of just adding doilies to the top of the pot. I could use other things to do this. I just thought this looked really nice. I took little bits of the fabric and I just decoupaged them to make them stiff, and I ended up painting these ones green as well. I don't know if I love it because they turned out to look a little bit like little asparagus. My plan is to attach a little jump ring and an earring hook. We already did make some. I cannot find them currently because my daughter wore them the other day, so they are somewhere in the abyss. Actually, she's the one who is the jewelry expert, so she attached the jump rings for me and the earring hooks. I think they're really cute and a unique pair of earrings and really easy to make. This one's not exactly doily fabric, but I had sheets, which are probably vintage sheets by now, but I've used the sheet fabric for other things, and I kept this top little ruffle piece for forever to do something with. It finally has its day. I had made these very simple half curtains for our bathrooms, but the edges I just never quite had finished. So I attached this little piece of sheet lace to the bottom, which easily could have been pieces of doily fabric or something, but just to give that idea, I did it with the bed sheets, also to show that it doesn't really have to be this authentic crocheted fabric or doily fabric for any of these. Any sort of upcycled lacy material for these type of projects works perfectly well. I added the lace to the bottom of the curtains and I really like how it turned out. I did just have to raise the curtains a little bit so it wasn't dragging. I ended up using that same material from the bed sheets to make a little crown, like a birthday crown. I have birthday crowns that I've already made for the kids, but I just think that the idea is so cute. I just sewed a piece of felt on the inside just to give it a bit of structure. And then I attached like just a really simple elastic to the back. Let's see how this goes. So that is the little crown. I think this would be really, really beautiful with authentic doily fabric as well. I think that's all 10 of them. I just wanted to share those really quickly. Again, you can check out my Pinterest page for more ideas that other people have done. I was a bit like the Portlandia episode. Put a bird on it, put a doily on it for everything in our house. Gotten a little bit obsessed. I'm probably gonna make more this week. I wanted to share the ones I had made so far, and that is all. I really, really appreciate you being here, being on camera, posting these videos. Definitely out of my comfort zone. I sure appreciate those of you who are here and who are watching. It means a lot to me on a personal level, but also gives me this feeling of hope and community for people who are like-minded and are interested in finding ways to reuse the things we have and find new life for them and to reduce some of our overconsumption. When people subscribe, I know that's so cliche, but it really means the world to me. And I really appreciate everyone who is here and who has subscribed. It is no small thing. Thank you. Our actions can and will make a difference. Thank you.